Hello subscribers, welcome to a live stream of some NES games. I'm streaming in a different room right now in case you can't recognize that. We're gonna play Contra. And where are you, Contra? Contra, okay, there we go. Let's make sure that all this is going. Yep. Okay. Hey, Gauntlet and Rod, welcome. How are you guys doing this evening? All right. I am sitting pretty far back from the computer, so we'll see how I can do with this setup. Whoa. The bullets are going to be the hardest thing to see. Pajama Warriors, yeah, that's right. I always fall there. I wonder what weapon that is. Oh, the flame. I think it was Saztam giving me a hard time about the flame in the Discord channel. He said spread was the best weapon. And I'm thinking, no, in my opinion, the flame is the best weapon. What do you guys think? I'm doing well, Rod. You're doing pretty well. You watched a lot of conferences today, learned a bit. Cool. And Gauntlet says he's been studying a bit of Godot. Cool. Yeah, I've been doing well. Your university held a informatics security conference and it was great. You learned a bit about penetration testing. Good. Yeah, a lot of the people that do cybersecurity stuff just use software to do it for them, to do a lot of the testing. But it's always great when you can program stuff yourself to be able to do things. You learn a lot better when you get the concepts and things like that. Yeah, it's amazing how insecure most systems are. It's incredible. And, you know, you'll learn that it's really people are the most insecure thing. People do the stupidest things in the businesses to cause problems. You know, social engineering will get you super far when you're trying to hack. Way more so than technology problems. Gauntlet hasn't played Contra for a long time. Maybe the flame was the best damage, but he liked the look and direct damage of the laser. Yeah, laser's cool too. Hey, Sir Percival, welcome. How you doing? I have to lean forward to read the chat because I'm sitting so far back. I pushed down there. What did it kill me for? The lecture showed you some tools to use, all Linux, of course, and a bit of manual SQL injection. Yeah, and the funny thing about SQL injection is it's super easy to protect against, and yet so many systems don't. Pretty good, Sir Percival says. Just finished supper. Cool. Yeah, send me some thick magnifying glasses. Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised I can see the bullets at all from this far back. Because the screen, from where I'm sitting, it's literally that big. Using the emulator, it's tiny. I can, as long as the background doesn't screw up, like make it hard to read. Ah, I can see the bullets. Whoa. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to do this too well sitting this far back. I might have to adjust the window size and readjust OBS. Because right now, OBS is recording based on the size of the window. And so if I change it, I'm going to have to go in there. It'll only take me a few seconds, but I think that's probably what I'll have to do. There we go. And the first talk was, as you said, about human OS. Yeah, you get information. Absolutely. Yeah, I do penetration testing for clients sometimes, and banks, oh, they're notorious for the employees not knowing what the heck they're doing. And even if you teach them and tell them exactly what to do, in general, half of them will still fail the tests, even if they know it's coming. It's just the sad reality of people with being vulnerable. Whoa, I saw those bullets. Ha! These guys running back and forth are really causing a problem. There we go. Wow, that was a lot harder than it had to be. Yeah, let me go to big screen. It's just too hard. Whoa, that's not good. It's stretched. Let's see here. Tools. Video. We want TV aspect ratio first of all. Let's see. Let's see if I can just multiply it times 3. There, that's a lot better. Okay, now let me adjust this window. Okay. I don't know if that looks any different for you guys, but for me it's a lot bigger now. Now the only thing is I need to bump the text on the web browser too, so I don't have to keep leaning forward. There we go. Okay, I think I'm set now, guys. Wow. Still can't quite read it, the text. There we go. You love some stretched pizza, Rod says. Hey, Glass Seller, welcome. He says, played that game frequently when he was a kid. Up, down. Oh, yeah, to do the cheat continues. I'm not going to do that. It's a bit bigger, so actually better. Cool. All right. Yeah, this is much better. I'll be able to see the bullets and can see your guys' text. It's a little bit close for me, or a little bit far, the text, but heck of a lot better. Oh. Yeah, let's just start over since I can actually see now. Start from scratch. Okay. Now we're talking. Okay, there we go. Now I can get my flames. Looks like an old NES game now. Gauntlet says, what was the first weapon I got? It was, I think, machine gun. I think that's what the M stands for. Not 100% sure of that, though. Yeah, and then the R, I think, is rapid fire, but I'm not really sure even what that does. Like, I don't know if that means for a machine gun that you can shoot the bullets faster, like they move across the screen faster, or what that means exactly. Sir Percival says he always liked the spread weapon when he was a kid. Yeah, I think that's the most popular weapon. Yeah, I think rapid is probably the R. Glass Seller says he remembers playing two-player co-op Contra. Yeah. We would always fight over who gets the spread. Yeah, that's so funny. The spread's good, but I actually prefer this flamethrower. Sometimes the laser is really good too. I mean, all the weapons are good in certain situations, which is what's cool about this game. It's definitely a fun game. You have to see the spread shot again. Man, one thing I've learned, I don't know if it's my controller or what, but you cannot run to the bottom like in use the duck at the same time. It doesn't work. The duck actually takes lower priority than the run does. So you have to be completely still, then press down to duck. To me, you'd think ducking would override moving down and to the left or right, but it doesn't. Oh, I always forget this guy's here. Glass Seller says games like these really make you appreciate Turbo Controller. Yeah, that is true. The machine gun's the only one where you can hold the button down and it automatically does the firing. You wouldn't know that by how I'm playing, but... And the machine gun's the one that looks kind of reddish. Not this red, but they're kind of big, solid bullets. There's the laser. That's rapid fire. I'm not sure that does anything with the flame. I'm not going to go over there to get it. It's too dangerous. Oh, that guy shoots. Oh, I did not expect that. What do we got there? There's the spread shot. Darn it. This stage drives me nuts with the bullets because you can't see them because of this water. They probably intentionally did that. Okay, it looks like we'll be using the machine gun. Woohoo. Darn it. I saw that coming and I was stuck in the corner. Ah, I hate to use a continue already. Oh well, we will. Now how does that guy kill me when I landed on his head? That's what I want to know. B? What is B? I'm flashing? What does that mean exactly? What B is? Oh, it wore off. I wonder if it was invincibility or something. I wonder what in the world a B would stand for. Those turrets were the bane of his existence back in the day. He had trouble shooting diagonally, Sir Percival said. B is barrier? That's weird. That's a weird way to word invincibility. Barrier. All right. Oh, that was cheap. What? What the heck? We're gonna redo this from the beginning. I'm not gonna use another continue. That was just so bad. All right, that was all warm up. Let's do this now. Spread. I did not know he could shoot at that angle. Those turrets have pretty amazing angles they can shoot at. Spread again? Wow. Let's see what rapid laser means. Machine gun, rapid, yeah. Spread is good. Laser's awesome for DPS, it is. Yeah, if you have good accuracy, the laser's much better. It's a little tougher in a situation like this because you have to jump. It's going to be good in the underground though, or in the base. Hey Eric, welcome. How are you doing this evening? I gotta make sure I stay still before I duck, because if you don't, you end up running. Doing all right? That's good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, Eric. That wasn't a good use of the laser. That's where the laser's not good in this area, are those things on the ground. I pushed down! I did not push down to the right. So I still think my controller's a little lame. It's not a true NES controller, so what do I expect? Yeah, it moved. I pushed straight down and it moved. That just drives me nuts. I'm not gonna use a continue again. Hey, Saztam, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, it's hard to describe this controller, but if I take, you know, the regular NES controller, the D-pad is stiff. Like when you push, you can't rotate it. This D-pad, I can actually turn it a tiny bit. I think it moves about, like if I take it like this and move it, it moves probably half a centimeter, either half centimeter or centimeter. So it's just loose. And so when you push down sometimes, it thinks that you rotated this whole D-pad and that you push down and to the left and right. So it's just frustrating. This one's called an In Next. I just can't find, if anybody knows of a really good NES D-pad USB controller, let me know, because this is the second one I've tried. The other one was worse than this one. And, you know, I played NES so much when I was a kid, I'm just used to something super solid, and I have not been able to find one yet. But if you know of one, send me a link, please. Glass Cellar's been away for a few days. How's the progress on Kid Icarus? It's done. I beat it, Glass Cellar. Gauntlet says unacceptable. Get Nintendo on the phone. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is a cheaply made controller. You can just feel it, you know, it just doesn't feel good. The fact that the D-pad actually has give to it when you try to twist it, you know, that's never a good sign. And you wouldn't think that that would make much of a difference, but on a game like Contra like this, it's so sensitive. You have to have a good controller. If you're off just a tiny bit, you'll fail. Hey, Christopher, welcome. How you doing? Yeah, probably not going to find anything good, Sastam. You're probably right. Christopher says he has two 8-bit controllers that work well, but they are not as able. NES controller. High quality. I will definitely pay more. The jump button, you know, the regular buttons work great because they're stiff. They don't move. It's just the D-pad's the issue. Okay. I have to be really careful in this area. And push down, not move around much. The problem is when they start throwing those bombs, you do have to move. Machine gun would be pretty good here, I think. You played it with an NES advantage? Being super careful. Man. Every time I push down, I see him move a tiny bit. And I'm just pushing straight down. Trying to decide if I want to take that flame weapon. I don't think so. Not in this area. Oh, this is the easy boss. Never mind. I thought it was the second boss. Yeah, the turbo button on the NES Advantage. Wow, he's shooting a lot faster. You see that? So it makes this boss harder if you have the machine gun. Wow, that's pretty cool. I am going to get this. It's just a lot easier to hit the enemies. Oh, that was a dumb move. I thought I saw the guy shooting at me. Okay. Not sure the best place to stand. I feel like the corner's a bad spot. Okay, there we go. Wow, that was close. Okay, much better. Haven't used the continue. Satstamp says they have NES to USB adapters on Amazon. You can use an original controller. That'd be cool as long as the latency's not high. Man, that sucks. Ooh, the laser does not hit while you duck here. The other weapons did. Man, they sure shoot a hell of a lot of bullets. Yeah, the laser wasn't the best weapon here. Alright. Glass Seller says he enjoyed Contra 4 on Nintendo DS, although having to watch both screens simultaneously is tricky. Snowfield. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is where I died last time, I think. The paper boy, as someone pointed out, that's what it looks like is happening. Paper boy is throwing explosive paper deliveries. Wow. What do we got there? Rapid fire, okay. I remember I got killed in a cheap way. I think there was like one of those turret guys down here or something cheap. I just don't remember what it was. Oh, he jumped and hit me right there. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, well, we get how many guys? 2, okay. You were thinking just go. Sometimes works better. Yeah, sometimes it does, depending on what the deal is. But this level is just so annoying with these guys that shoot. Like, they don't just run at you, they shoot at while they're running, like that guy. So you have to be super careful. And then they jump and hit you from behind or below. Like that, man. What do we got here? Flame. I don't know. I'm not getting that here. Ooh. Invincibility, it fell in the water. Man, that guy's gonna be hard to hit. There we go. Oh yeah, that's right. I did make it to the boss. It was like this giant shield thing. So, I think you have to jump and hit it in the head or something. Oh, you don't have to jump. Now where is it going? Oh, that wasn't even a boss? Wow. Another one? Okay. Sheesh. Yeah, fall in the water and get invincibility at the same time. It's funny they call it invincibility because it really isn't, because you can still fall down pits and stuff. Dude. Can't even get that. Oh, maybe I can. Nope. Another tank guy. What is this? Now where's he gonna appear? Oh, okay, went back up. That was actually one of the easier bosses, surprisingly. That's really weird. Energy zone. Okay. Whoa. That was cheap. Whoa. Did you see that? He ducked and shot at me. Wow. That was close. Man, I have to be careful. I really don't want the laser. Oh, that's so cheap! How are you supposed to know that's there the first time you come here? I hate games that do that. That kill you on purpose the first time you get to a new area. Like, it's impossible to know. What? Did you see how far out that came? What the heck? That is lame. Basically, it makes you waste a life or two, you know, the first time you come to a new area. It's because it's not possible to know. So, how do I trigger this thing? What? That is so lame. Guess you gotta go on the bottom to get past it. Okay, now I know that this one down here comes way the hell out. Let me study this for a second. Okay. There's another one of those flame things right there. And then that one goes the full length. Hmm. Trying to figure out the timing on this. I'd get killed if I went then. That's when I need to go to. I'm assuming I can't, yeah, I can't jump that. Alright, let's see. How far out does this one go? That one doesn't go very far. Oh, but now the guys are coming again? Hmm. This pattern looks pretty stable. I pushed down and jump! Oh, your guy stands up before he drops? Wow, I never noticed that. So when you push the jump and down, he stands up and then he goes down. What? Oh my gosh. So they throw in a different one that you can't react on that kills you instantly if you step into it. Okay. So basically you had to waste a whole continue to figure out how these flames work. That sucks. Eric says bulletproof vest item in that. Ah, okay. In that one thing that was back there. I should try to get that. Christopher says, yeah, there's a reason he never played Contra. Yeah, that's cheap. Yeah. I'm not a fan of when games, as I said before, force you to die to learn the level, like the cheap tricks. I don't mind it being where you can, you know, where it's really hard to react. Okay, now this one I can't jump there. I have to come down here. And that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so this is the bulletproof vest, I think, that Eric was saying. I'll go ahead and get it then. see if I can do this. There we go. I almost feel like I could maybe jump this. But now I don't know how long this is going to last. So I'm a little afraid. Man, that's killing me. The down angle issue. Okay, this is the one that was really cheap. That was a double. Alright. So I have just this one life to beat a boss, maybe? And it's probably still not the end. What? What the hell? Oh my gosh. Gauntlet says, why did Google remove the go-to channel option in YouTube chat? That's a good question. I don't know, Gauntlet. Oh, that was it. Okay. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Yeah. Saztam says that's why you need Nintendo power. Hey, 2Hugh server. I didn't see your message there. How are you doing? It's been a long time no see. I'm doing well. Back by the flamethrower on the ceiling and... Okay, yeah. You can jump over the robot boss. I did, but then he hit me with a flying fist like immediately. I didn't even know that was coming. Yeah, that's so dumb. Glad you're doing well, 2Hugh server. You mean to check the channel? Yeah, like you used to be able to click on the 3 dots next to a person's name and go to their channel. But I don't know why that's not there. It's pretty weird. Okay, well, that's enough Contra since I made it all the way that far and got ripped off. Let's see, what else can we do here? We've beat Kid Icarus. We've beat Castlevania 3. Could go back to Crystalis. Let's go back to Crystalis. I think I have the latest version. Yeah. Let's see where I'm at. I have no idea where I'm going right now, by the way. I just know I got to the next area. Oh, that's right. I was going to save up and get that platinum armor. That's what I had to do. So I had 504. I think it was like 4,000 or 2,000 or something. How much gold does this give me, or dollars? 16? It doesn't really seem that good for how long it takes. I beat Castlevania 3. Trying to think if I used Alucard. No, I did not use Alucard. He sucked. Alucard was so worthless. I like hardly ever used him. I should have went the other direction and got that wizard. I thought, oh cool, a vampire. He's gonna be like really strong. He was terrible. Like his weapon, his fireballs did like No damage. Oh. Alucard would have been a lot better if he didn't fall when he got hit when he was a bat. But that made his flying ability pretty much useless. Yeah, Sifa, or however you pronounce her name. She is so much better. Eric says, yeah, he thinks the Platinum Armor is 2,000 and Shield's 1,500. Sifa's awesome in that game. Yeah. Well, I beat it with crappy Alucard, so I guess that's an achievement. I didn't beat it 100% legitimately, though. I did use some save states, but I saved it when one hit and I would die, so I still cheated, but I didn't cheat quite that bad. It would have taken me much longer on the stream to keep redoing those levels, and it's like that's not fun to watch. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I got hurt by that last time. That dumb chest that was fake. What a cheap trick. It seems like something Contra would pull on you. Whoa. Maybe there's a way to tell that it's fake. Christopher says, Alucard is amazing in SOTN. I don't know what SOTN is, Christopher. Sir Percival says, if you want a better Alucard... Oh, so that's Symphony of the Night. It's a PlayStation 1 game. 2 Server says, you can freeze annoying... rivers and projectiles. Oh, with Sifa? Man, that'd be awesome. Props. Eric says props to you for beating with Alucard. Yeah, mimics, definitely. Symphony of the Night. Yeah, I never had a PlayStation. It was kind of after my time. It was probably when I was in college when that came out. And I was much more into, programming and PCs and stuff. SNES, the Super Nintendo, was the last console I bought. Whoops. Sifa's lightning balls, yes balls, make short work of many bosses, especially the Reaper, Sir Percival says. Eric says 1997 is when the PlayStation 1 came out. Yep. Eric and I were in college. Oh yeah, how do you get past these guys? Wonder if telepathy would work. Oh. Guess not. Be quiet, leave me... That's funny. He said, be quiet, leave me alone. Just imagine you're just like sitting in a room by yourself and all of a sudden someone starts talking to you with telepathy. You're like, leave me alone, be quiet. Oh, that's funny. Gauntlet says he's surprised OBS uses NVENC versus an open format. Eric says you'll need the Flute of Lime. You'll get that from the Queen. Oh, that's right. Okay. I forgot about that. Let me just teleport back. Okay, yeah, let's buy... I wonder what that is. Lysis plant. Fruit of Lime. So can the Fruit of Lime work on that, or is that you still need the whistle? I'll just spend time doing some grinding. Maybe I can find monsters that are a little easier, quicker to kill. You'll need the okay. Fruit of Lime works on you only. The Lysis plant removes paralysis. Okay. Thanks, Eric. Eric's always got the... He's got the power. The power being his memory. Woo. Okay. Dead end, huh? Oh, there's some down here. Tried to avoid the marshy stuff down there, and then I get hit by the axe. Ah! So I probably lose all my money, don't I? $6.16. No, I don't think I lost any. Oh, it's when you go back, it kind of automatically saves. Eric says proof that he's not senile just yet. Christopher, he can remember the lyrics to 5,000 plus songs, the rules to board games he hasn't played in 15 years, but he can't remember where the hell he put his scissors 10 minutes ago. That's funny. We'll just stay around here and grind on these guys. Ah! Man, I'm almost tempted to teleport back to the leaf. I think I will. I'll be able to get money so much faster. Not teleport. Let's rest in the inn. Where it's dirt cheap. And then we'll do some grinding at the super easy levels. Does that only give you one? Two. but they're super quick to kill. Am I getting experience from those? 505. I got one. They're not spawning as quickly as I thought they would. What was that other place? I think it was this one. They had better enemies, yeah. Where are you? There you are. There we go. That gives 4. Oh, this is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, these slime things. Because they're real easy to kill. Yeah, there we go. How much experience? Oh, wow. Yeah, a ton of experience. This music always makes you feel like you want to dance, doesn't it? Like some goofy anime dance. Christopher says he played this game long enough. You remember the goofy music, but you don't remember anything else about it. Yeah. I know what you mean. I've played some games like that too. This music is very unique. Like, it repeats, but it's quite different, like the harmony or whatever you want to call it. His sword, his or her, I'm not sure if this is a guy or girl, but the sword's so short, it reminds me of that NES game Wizards and Warriors we beat, you know, about a month ago or whatever, whenever that was. It's a little longer than the Wizards and Warriors sword, but still pretty darn short. Actually, this looks like a better way to do it. There we go. The hero's male, okay. Yeah, the Wizards and Warriors game was just terrible with its weapon attacks. Eric said longer than the sword in Zelda 2. I don't know, is it? The Wizards and Warriors one, I mean. So Percival says the second one is worse than the first. Well, yeah, the first Zelda was amazing. The second Zelda, I kind of liked the second Zelda, not as much as the first one, of course, but people rip on it a lot, but I think it was pretty cool. It was different, you know. But when I just beat Rambo, what, a month ago or a few weeks ago, that reminded me a lot of Zelda 2, and I think someone researched that and said it was made by the same game, basically, which explains why it was so strange, like the side view and everything, and just awkward. The controls were kind of awkward. Man, that game was... Whoever made that game, I think, was on something. I got a lot of entertainment out of it, though. If you guys didn't see that, you should go back and watch some of the videos where I played Rambo. Man, some of it is just so weird. Like, he'd hit the guy and his head would get real big. It's like, what in the world's going on with that? Christopher says, best one is Link's Awakening. I've never played that. Sastam said he played Zelda 2 before Zelda 1. Wow, that's cool. Sir Percival says he loves Zelda 2, though yes, he preferred the first one. And a lot of it is which one you play first. Like, I got Zelda probably the first few months after it came out. Like, I got that one right away, the first Zelda. And so it was just so amazing. I think I might have been the first kid in my class to get it. My grade school. Eric and I went to the same school. And some kids had Nintendos, some didn't. And I'm pretty sure I was the first one to get Zelda. And then there was another kid named Charles in our class that got it. And he may have actually beat it before I did, which is really surprising, but... Because I just played games so much when I got them. Sir Percival says he also played Zelda 2 first. But A Link to the Past is Sazam's favorite. Eric says I got it before he did. He got his in Christmas time. Yeah, I think you got your Nintendo a little bit. Like, did you get your Nintendo, Eric, in '87? It seems like we were in like 5th grade, maybe? Something like that. $1985 when it came out. Rod says, asking to the parents in the stream, would you make your kids play the games you liked as a kid? Sir Percival says, make? Absolutely not. I'd never force a child to play games I like. And Eric says we both got it around about the same time. Well, we're up to $935. We're getting there. I'll probably level up. Yeah, I'll be leveling up fairly soon. I'm sure this is really boring, guys, but unfortunately, in a game like this, you gotta do this. So, if you want to reminisce, come up with some memories that you guys remember. If you've ever been to Chris's channel, CGQ Plus, he does what's called flashbacks, which are just so fun to watch that because it always brings back memories for me. So you guys should just start a memory, like list it on the stream, something you remembered as a kid, and we'll see how many other people remember that or how many memories are similar that are brought up for everybody. Christopher says he has 5 kids and they have all at least tried his old games. Most of them didn't care for them. But I really like the old NES stuff. Christopher, they play modern stuff mostly. I remember when I was a kid and I first saw the game called Turbo at an arcade game. I don't know if you guys remember that game. It was a car racing game where you're just driving down a street and the side and background changes based on where you're at. And of course some of the hazards and stuff. But we had, I think... it was a Texas Instrument, a TI-88 or 89, whatever that is. I can never remember the model number. But I think that was probably when I was like 7 years old. I'm just guessing. And so for Christmas, you know, I didn't know any better. You just don't know what systems are capable of. I told my parents I wanted... Turbo for Christmas. That's the only present I wanted was Turbo. And so they bought a game called Car Crash. I think that's what... No, Car Wars. It was called Car Wars on the Texas Instrument. And it's absolutely nothing like Turbo. But there's no way you got Turbo on the Texas Instrument. The system was so limited. So, I remember being so disappointed. You know, I tried to act like I was grateful. And when I put it in, I'm like thinking, oh, wow, this is going to be just like Turbo. And it was basically like a heat-seeking game. Where, you know, games where you try to move and there's a maze and the things come after you. Kind of like Burger Time, where all the enemies just swarm towards you. It was like that, only it was cars. So it was absolutely nothing like Turbo. And yet, you know, it was a new game, so you'd play the crap out of it. And, you know, eventually you kind of liked the game because it's the only one you had. But I just remember that to this day. Christopher said he had Turbo on the ColecoVision. There's no memory. Oh yeah, ColecoVision, that was fun. We had one too eventually. You had the steering wheel? Cool. Sir Percival says, mind you, I'm not planning on having kids at this point, though I could change my mind in the future. Gotcha. Rod says, and he has a steering wheel he bought as well. Oh, you're talking about a PlayStation game? So how old is your dad, Rod? Because I'm pretty sure you're, what, in your mid-20s? Eric says ColecoVision, his neighbor had one, and he had Chuck Norris super kicks. Oh, that's funny. Was that George? Was that your neighbor, Eric? Or was that Brian? Because I know you lived at a different place earlier on. Not sure when they would have had a ColecoVision. Oh, there we go. Level up. Okay, so your dad's 53. So do you ever talk with him about games, Rod? Did he play any when he was like any in the late 70s or early 80s? My dad never played games. I would always try to get him to play, but he had no interest in them. I think I got him to play Super Mario Brothers maybe like once or twice. And of course he was absolutely terrible because he never played them. He played a lot of those car games, Rod says. Ah, okay. Eric says, no, it wasn't Brian. He had an Atari 2600 and played Raiders of the Lost Ark. Gotcha. Raiders of the Lost Ark was a fun game. I played that a lot too. I did manage to beat it one time. And I really had no idea. Like, I know what caused the win, but I didn't know what order I did things that caused the win. And I didn't get like the grand ending or anything where, you know, the little thing goes all the way to the top. The arc or whatever. But that game was just so cryptic. It was really weird. The other games you had for PlayStation 1, you played alone or with your mom, Rod says. My dad doesn't like adventure games as such, Rod says. That's interesting because a lot of parents actually I think would prefer adventure games. My mom helped me with King's Quest 3. There's a part in King's Quest 3 on the PC where you have to type in commands to get these spells created. You're basically mixing things like reagents and I think there was a time limit. I don't know that for sure, but it really felt like there was a time limit before the wizard came back. And she was a really fast typer. So I remember getting so stressed that wizard was going to come back. And I think there was even music that would play, like with the PC speaker, while you were down in his hidden laboratory, typing up these spells. And I was so stressed. I'm like reading out of the hint book to her. Oh, okay, you got to type this now. You got to type this. And she would type it real fast. And we were so relieved when we actually finally got the spells created. It was funny. That game had some major suspense with it. Sierra is just incredible with that. Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Ark made a crazy sound, didn't it? It did. At the very end, it tried to play the music, and it was like, it'd blow out your ears. It was so loud. Yeah, Eric, he says using both controllers at the same time was the first for him. Yeah, that was really weird and hard to get used to. Whoops. Push the wrong button. Yeah, I think that's normal, Sir Percival. Most parents You know, I'm not sure what your age is, but most parents, you know, just don't have any interest in video games. Christopher said, oh, Eric says one of his favorite parts of the King's Quest 3 was making the spells. And Christopher says his mom helped him with Zork when he was pretty young, like 8. Yeah, I bet you did need help with that one. You're talking about the pure text Zork? Yeah, Sierra definitely wasn't forgiving with those, with typos with the spells. Stam says he has a picture of his mom and uncle playing on the 2600 before he was born. That's funny. So are you in your 20s also then, Sastam? If no one ever wants to say their age, that's perfectly fine. I just am curious what the demographics are that, you know, watch these retro games and that kind of stuff. I always assumed it was people my age. I'm going to be 43 years soon. Sir Percival says he's a bit younger than me. You probably already told me that, Sir Percival. I always forget who tells me what. Rod says his dad was into cars and cameras. Ah, okay. So he is a gadget kind of guy. Toy, I'll call it. Adult toy. Not adult toy, you know what I mean. Toys for guys, we'll say it that way. Oh, Sastam's 40. Wow, and they played the 2600, huh? Christopher's 41, Eric 43. So yeah, we're all about, well, not all of us, a lot of us are about the same age then. That's what I thought. I figured that the majority of us, like maybe 80% that watch retro are doing it for nostalgia reasons, and then maybe 20% is to learn some of the old stuff. To see what us old geezers were up to back in the day. Rod says he guesses for NES it was common to have 5 to 10 games, but the earliest Atari consoles, weren't those extremely expensive? I don't know, to be honest, because I was too young to know, and I've tried to ask my parents. They don't remember. I was hoping to glean some information off of them so that I could share it on the channel, and they just didn't remember anything. I remembered more than they did. It's like, oh, that's disappointing. Yeah. We're gonna call them man toys. Or sometimes people say boy toys, you know. That's the right way to say it. Sastam said they had 2600 games, he thinks. New Atari games were about $40 at the time, Eric said. Which, due to inflation, you know, back then that was a lot of money. I remember when I was a kid, the NES games were usually about 30, some were 40, depending on where you got them. And that was in the mid-80s. to late 80s. Christopher was at Cannibal Corpse concert not terribly long ago and noticed a lot of, what does that say? Bald spots in the audience. Then realized we're all old fogies now. That's funny. Yeah. Time is not friendly. It's not our friend, that's for sure. But hey, as long as we keep our memory, that's what's good. Rod says he has like 30 or so PS1 games, more than 80 PS2 games. Says Tam says he remembers a lot of the games would show up at the flea market for cheap in the mid to late 80s. Really? In the mid? Oh, the Atari ones, yes. I thought you meant the NES ones. Yeah, I remember going to the mall and seeing bins of Atari games. They were free cartridges, you know, they weren't in a box or anything. But they'd be like $2, $3. A lot of them. And we had no interest in them because now we had an NES. And if you went back to the Atari games, you're like, man, these are just crappy. There were so many Atari games, just free cartridges. It is funny though when you see pictures of concerts of like bands that were popular in the 80s, you know, for us, like rock bands like Heart or Guns N' Roses or whatever. You look at the people and, you know, they're all overweight and balding, or it's just like they're not getting any new people, like newer generations. It's pretty funny. It's probably depressing for them as the musicians looking out in the crowd and seeing a bunch of us, you know, being overweight and bald and older looking. They're probably like, man, who are these people? Because, you know, the musicians at the time, especially the rock guys, they were getting all these girls in the audience that were young and fit, and now they look out there and they're like, wait, are you the moms? You know, where are the girls in their late teens and early 20s? You'd still go back and play the 2600 occasionally after getting an NES, as Tim says. Eric says, did you run into any kiosks at the mall where apparently developers would program Atari games, then you'd come back in a couple hours to pick it up? No. Are you talking about at our mall, Eric? I never saw that. Hey, Cy, welcome. How are you doing? Mick Jagger is slim and he still has hair. Has he had a transplant? Does anybody know? Or did he keep all of his hair? I mean, just because you don't have hair doesn't mean you're older either. Some people start losing their hair in their, 20s. Just genetic. Pretty much genetic. Christopher says, yeah, he went to see the Stones a couple years ago. That dude made him tired just watching him. About Keith Richards, I remember hearing a joke about him on our local radio station here that says something, it was something referring to the lines on his face, like deeper than the lines on Keith Richards' face, because he's so wrinkled, I guess. My mom always swore, she's like, oh, I think they made a deal with the devil to be able to stay young. I always laugh at her. Rod says this personal experience from the age 18 to 20 you lost hair. And then from 20 to now 24 you haven't. So yeah, it just thinned out for you, you mean? He was really worried about going bald so young. Could have been stress. I know sometimes stress, if you experience extreme amount, it'll definitely thin your hair. When I was a kid, I used to have a terrible cowlick. My hair was so thick. I had this wave in my hair that you could not tame. It was like, woo, just this curly thing. And then my hair really thinned out when I turned, let's see, I'd say probably late 20s. Maybe early 30s. I don't really remember. Christopher says his dad lost his hair really young, so he worried about it a lot. Now he's more worried about being the burnout metalhead with a gray ponytail. That's funny. Rod says, or maybe all those drugs the Stones took have made them invincible. So Percival said he had very thick hair when he was a teen. Sai says he turned bald at 26. And I'm not sure what word that is. Nothing in your life. And Rod says he has always short hair because he doesn't like combing it. Eric says he's heard that several malls back in the day had kiosks with developers that made their own games. Ah, okay. So you never saw them, Eric, personally? I never saw it. There was one time when I was at the mall, but it was when I was probably in my early 20s. Where I was asked if I wanted to participate in I don't even know what you call it. It was like an advertisement feedback session for Yellow Pages, the company. And I said, sure, why not? And so they took me back in this room and they just showed me different like videos of ads and stuff, and they would say, okay, you know, they gave me multiple choice answers. So what did you think about this? And they had different things, and I would just answer them. Seems like there were like 8 to 10 questions. That's the only experience I had at the mall that was kind of strange. Oh, the words I was putting there was changed. Oh, yeah, that led to the crash in 1983. Yeah, nobody really knows. And I always take objection when people use the word crash. Everybody uses the word crash, when to me it's just a big decline. Because in my mind, when you hear the word crash, it means it's done. You know, like a car crash. The car is done. It's completely destroyed. And that's not at all what crashes are. Like the stock market crashes, economic crash, or the gaming crash. To me, in my mind, those were just big declines. But it was not a crash. But that's what everybody calls it, so. Yeah, the yellow pages. Isn't that funny? Yeah, Christopher says, you know, E.T. got blamed. But it was more of a symptom of the crash, not the cause. That's very true. Yeah, the amount of work that developer got done, short amount of time on E.T. was crazy. He had like 30 days or something. It was pretty incredible how much he got done in that amount of time. Yeah, I don't mean like a crash being fatal. It's just, you know, if you use the word crash, what are you going to use when an industry completely goes away? You know, how are you going to talk about that? I just feel like they just used the wrong word. But I'm a software developer. I always use words that are accurate. I don't like using ambiguous words or like changing the meaning of words, because you have to have every single rule defined when you program something, all the exceptions. My wife and I always joke about that because she was a developer too. She developed on mainframes, and we're like, man, we should have named the streets around here, and you know, we should have came up with rules for different things, because developers are the best at coming up with rules, because we constantly are facing all these exceptions that people never think about. You know, majority of people just think about what something's doing 99% of the time. And as developer, it's the opposite. That's a given. You have to think about the things that happen 0.1% of the time. And then you have to spend all this time coding for just that 0.1% if you want it to be stable. And so it's kind of the same way with words. You want to use words that have very precise meaning. And sometimes that's a little hard to... Yeah, when you talk with users and you interface with them, you know, they're trying to use words that are very ambiguous, and it's a translation problem. And you have to just pull out information. And then still sometimes you'll ask them, you know, are you sure that there's no exceptions to this? Are you 100% sure? Oh yeah, we're sure. And then sure enough, they were wrong. I see it so many times. And so I always architect things to be flexible because I know that's going to happen. And then, you know, when they say, oh, yeah, we forgot about that. It's like, no biggie, we can make an easy adjustment. Call it an economic bubble. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, Rod. To call it a bubble that popped makes much more sense. Christopher says even more complicated. The crash was pretty... Yeah, exactly. It was US-centric. You're absolutely right. In Europe, the micro market didn't even hiccup. That's very true. Rod says he wanted to ask about that. Do cities have numbered streets or names? They have both. Sometimes it'll be 5th Street, 7th Street. So you might live on 100 or 300 5th Street. And then to make matters worse, a lot of times they'll throw in directions, which make no sense. Like it'll say South 5th Street. So you might live on 300 South 5th Street, but it has nothing to do with the actual direction. And then they'll tack on a word like road. So it'll be 300 South 5th Street Road or South Road. It's just really bizarre, some cities, how bad the street names get. But then they'll have normal street names like Oak Drive and things like that. Sir Percival says, unfortunately, he's a writer, so he surfs on semantics. Yeah. Rod says, in Argentina, you have streets named after scientists or important historical figures. So for someone visiting, it's difficult to follow directions. That happens here sometimes too, or it'll be like a president, you know, name of a president or some bigwig that got a street named after him. I feel like the older street names a lot of times were numbers. Like if you go to a downtown urban area, at least around where I live, those usually have like 5th Street, 6th Street, 7th Street. But they quit doing that, I feel like, maybe in the mid-1900s or something. In my area, they started using like object names, but then you'll have really weird names too. Like my wife and I saw a road once named Man on Road. 2 words, man space on. And it was like in a very rural area. We're thinking, what exactly do they mean by man on road? Man, we almost have enough to buy the platinum armor here. Man, that takes a long time. Eric says he has an Alan Shepard Street over by him. Oh, that's cool. Alan Shepard, the astronaut. I love all the astronaut stories. I've seen so many of the documentaries about NASA, and it's so fun. Sir Percival says, toward me, Chinese name? I don't think so, because all the other names were like very redneck. Like Cow Street and, you know, Farmerville Street and things like that. And then all of a sudden you have Man On. So, yeah, it was definitely some kind of country or rural name. I have enough for the armor? Oh, cool. We do have subways. Well, when you say subway, you mean the restaurant? Or are you talking about real subways? Okay. $2,000. Nice. Oh, let's check this out first. Oops. So defense 14-14. $24-14. Wow. That was a big boost. Let's go to the pawn shop. Sell our old armor. Excellent. Sir Percival says man on, that is, or maybe it's misunderstanding of the French name. Maran. Manon. Oh, so you're talking about real subways, Rod. Where I live, I'm not in a very urban area, so no, we don't have subways everywhere. It's mainly depends on your city. Like if you're in a big rural area, you won't have that. Christopher says he lives 30 minutes from a town called Farmerville. He resembles that remark. No, I wasn't bashing it. I'm just saying that all the words were very rural. Sir Percival says he has a Terry Fox way. That's very short. Christopher lives in semi-rural Texas, though. Eric says, so to get the Flute of Lime, you'll need to talk to the Queen, then speak to the fortune teller. Repeat this 2 to 3 times, then exit and go back to the place without talking to the fortune teller. Okay. Use paralysis on the guard to get in. Oh, you're talking about spell. I do have that spell, don't I? Forgot about that. Okay. I think the Queen was north. Oh. I already talked to the Queen. Let me go back to the... Here, okay. I'm the fortune teller. Let me see your fortune. See the Queen. Your way will be open. That's funny. I was looking forward to seeing you. Have you gotten used to life in the town? It's gotten late. I had a good time though. I must go now. That's pretty funny. Sir Percival says there's a town somewhere which has streets named Damn If I Know, Damn If I Don't, and Damn If I Don't, and Damn If I Care. That's funny. Once you go to the back cave, go back to the fortune teller, then go to the Queen. I'm not really sure what that means, but Go to the palace. Your way will definitely be opened. Oh, okay. Come closer to me. I would like to be an adventurer like you to see what lies beyond here. Okay. So let's see if she's there again. Oh, okay, so she's saying the same thing. Assuming that's the palace. Yeah, I bet you do, Rod. Don't be so shy. The owner of the boat rental shop is kind. Only to his daughter. Okay. Girl from the southern lake came here. I think she went to rent a boat. Okay. Eric says, so after this conversation, don't talk to the fortune teller, go back to the palace and use paralysis on the guard. First guard, you see. So on this guard here? Ah, okay. He gets right in the way. So you have to paralyze him before he moves. Oh, I see. I didn't know paralyzed shot like that. I for some reason thought it'd be touch range. That's funny. Damn it, well, what a weird name. Now you can go back to the fortune teller. What in the world? This is such a weird... situation. Go to the palace. Your way will be opened. Okay. Oh, this is really weird. Did you know there's a cave behind the northern waterfall? Go there, I'll give you the flute of lime. Use it wisely. That is just weird. None of that made sense to me. How bizarre. Yeah, that is really weird, Eric. Christopher says it took him ages to beat Final Fantasy. Yeah, I really liked the first Final Fantasy. I remember it. I really liked the music too. Okay. So, the waterfall. Okay, that's where we go next. So, Christopher says that's the kind of thing they did to get you to buy, yeah, the trashy rag Magazine Nintendo Power, that's funny. That's true. Well, guys, I think I'm going to set a save state and stop the stream here. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for all the tips there, Eric. I appreciate it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will see you guys next time.